SMG mounted and loaded!
Welcome to the first interview of Chanka News Network. Unfortunately, it's not on better times, but you know, I wanted to get everyone's side from this controversy of what's going on at the moment. So I just want to start off with if you could just introduce yourself and what team you play for.
Okay, yeah. My name's Dalycan. That's what I go by in game. I played for Onslaught for NAPC, and I was the team captain.
Okay. Other than Onslaught, did you play for any other teams?
Yes, I've played since season one. I went through the qualifiers in season one under a team named Heist, and then we were signed by Astral Authority. I played for Empire in season two, and then season three I played for Ferocity, and I also played for Ferocity in the Six Invitational closed qualifiers.
Okay, so you've been around the block before. Okay. Now for those that are watching this and don't know, can you explain just quickly what has happened with ESL in your team this last season?
Sure, yeah. To briefly try to explain it, we were contacted early February if we wanted to receive our invite for year two, season one, and if we had 3 of 5 players. And I responded to them with 3 players that were on our roster from season 3, and one of them included a player called Nine Line, and we were given the okay by that person at that time that those 3 would count to get us an invite. We received our invite, and they also published that we would be invited. Then later on, early March, they then said, oh, Nine Line does not count as a player that would account for 3 of 5 original members. Mm-hmm. And they took that away from us. And then we basically had to scramble to try to create a 3 of 5 roster, because at that time that was when qualifiers for NAPC had already passed. So we were not able to qualify with our roster because qualifiers were done. So we had to scramble to even make a team to even play this season. And we dealt with a lot of different rulings in that time period, which you can go over later if you'd like. But basically, we were told at one point that roster would work, and then we were told later on that it wouldn't work, and they weren't able to help us in any way, and they just forced the 3 of 5 rule down our throats.
Yeah. I wanted to ask, did you have this issue with any of your other teams?
Any other team that I was a part of, we actually qualified. So season 1, no team got an invite, right? So we qualified for that. I actually was picked up by Empire in the middle of season 2, so I didn't deal with any roster things in season 2. And then season 3, Ferocity was a brand new team that Zed and I put together. So we had to go through qualifiers again. This was the first time that I was ever invited to another season.
Right. Okay. Before this as well, did you have any issues with ESL? As in, personal issues between yourself and ESL?
Yes.
Okay.
So season 1, there's the big problem that everyone knows about with the whole clever problem that NAPC had. We had a lot of scheduling issues with Astral Authority. Basically, one of our team members wasn't going to be able to make a day. So it was near the end of the season. Our play days were on Thursdays, but because ESL had some event going on, they didn't want to do it on a Thursday. They wanted to do it on a Monday, but they gave us really late notice. And one of our players had a family commitment, a family reunion on that month. He wouldn't be back from his trip on it was a Friday to Monday vacation. So he wasn't going to be back in time. So he said, that's not fair. We never knew this was coming. We can't play with our whole roster. And then they said, all through it, they're if the other team does an okay, a switch of days, then no matter what, you're going to have to figure out like a sub to play with. And then all of a sudden at the last moment, they like were like, you have to play on this. They actually changed it. They're like, you have to play on a Sunday because you have to play this makeup day before the Monday streams go on. And so like we had to scramble the team together really quick on a Monday at the end of season 1, and we like basically just trolled it. It's on streams. You could probably find it, but
Yeah. Okay.
I've had problems before. Yes.
Do you think those previous issues added to what happened with ESL and the Onslaught issues here? Do you think that was a part of it, or?
As like they held it against me?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so, because the admins from season 1 that I dealt with, he's no longer a part of the scene. So I don't think, at least I would hope that that grudge wouldn't carry on to different people. And I wouldn't think that that's what caused it.
Okay. Do you think they have any reason at all, or is it just purely random?
I have no clue. I have asked that question to many admins about, did we do something to someone that makes them not like us?
Mm-hmm.
Because like if you read what I posted, like other teams have been given passes on certain things, and we were being held so accountable for this rule, and we'd like have no clue why we were the one team they just won't let go through.
Yeah. Well, the whole other thing that's kind of wrapped into this is the Dalycan and Skies ban, which has just been kind of swept over by ESL, which is a whole other issue which I want to discuss. But I mean, it's kind of two things going on at once here. But how do you feel about that? Let's just get into that now. What did you think about when you heard that the two players had been banned?
Well, initially when I had like talked to people about it, I almost like blew it off as like this wasn't even going to be a problem, because in the history of most organizations and businesses in general, if two businesses are paired together, like Ubisoft and ESL are right now, usually if one of them makes some sort of judgment, the other one will follow suit, because they don't want to ruin their business tie, if you know what I mean. So I was shocked when this came out. And then their rebuttal is that this didn't happen during a ESL match, which I think is completely unacceptable, to be honest, like as a person in this community, because it just basically says that any of these pro players that are out there can go out and talk as much shit as they want to anybody and be all high and mighty and not support the community, and it won't affect them at all. There's zero consequences because it's not in their rule book. But if you take the time to read the rule book, the second paragraph in their new rule book says that any admin can make any choices that they want outside of the rule book, as long as it's in direct response to fair play and sportsmanship. So their protection on it was, this didn't happen during a match, but it doesn't matter, because that, like, them being toxic is not sportsmanlike, and it gives them complete reason to ban those players, but they did it. So it just looks like favoritism to me. That's what it looks like.
Okay.
They were at LAN, and they made friends with people, and it helped them. So good for them, I guess.
Yeah. Do you see that? I mean, the last time that I can remember, at least, that there was a controversy this big was the season 1 scandal. And I remember back then people saying that ESL weren't fit to run the Pro League. Did you agree with that then, and would you still agree with it now?
I think that there's no other company that would be able to hold Rainbow Six, because Ubisoft, I don't think, is a big enough company to run their own organization like, the big games do, like League of Legends or something like that. They can't really run their own game, so they have to have like a competition company be able to do that. The only unfortunate thing is, I think that there needs to be a rehaul of the people that work for ESL to make it work the way that it should. That's my opinion.
Okay. Is there any other companies or community leagues that you think could possibly kind of build up and take that position from ESL. I mean, it's not really the same thing, but we've got Bloodbath had his Bathwater League. You have, you've got MLG. You've got a bunch of other things that could possibly take it on rather than ESL. Is there any that come to mind that you think could do a good job, or do you think they just need to wait and build their own thing?
I honestly, MLG would be like one big name that you could. The biggest problem is giving a prize pool of that size to an individual. No offense to Bloodbath, because I think he's a good guy, but I don't think in any respect that Ubisoft as a company would say, here's a league that you're going to run for $300,000. Good luck, because he's only one guy. I don't know one person that could handle that kind of stress. Yeah. I know that there's up and coming leagues, like there's the IGL league that's trying to make its way. Like MLG is like a big company that maybe could be there, but like I said, I really think it should be ESL at this time for Ubisoft. It just, hopefully they can find someone that changes the way they look at things.
Okay, that's interesting, because I mean, just to add my personal thoughts in it, well, not necessarily thoughts, but what I've heard before in other games is that a lot of other companies don't trust ESL with their esports. So that I'll be honest, I'm surprised that you think they should go with it. I thought you'd go the other way, but that's just, I mean, you're more than welcome to that opinion. I'm not trying to say you're wrong or anything. I'm just trying to say I'm surprised. I just wanted to touch on, I mean, before we started this, you sent me a message on Twitter saying, have I read Vets to Vet, who is an ESL admin for North America. He's wrote a post as well. I mean, I don't want to read the whole thing. I might edit it into the video. I'm not quite sure yet, but it basically says that he doesn't get paid. He did it. He's an admin for the love of the community and the love of the game. Now I don't know if it was Vets to Vets that did this or not, and I don't want to name names if I don't have to. But I mean, he's released a long post here, and I've not had a chance to read it all, to be honest. But I just, what I'm trying to get at here is if you could talk to the ESL admin that caused this, or the three admins, I should say, because I believe it was three. There was three admins involved with what happened to your team. What would you want to say to them if you just talked to them one to one?
It'd be really talking to ESL 1, who I mentioned from my post, talking to him and understanding his commitment to the league, because he's truly the person that put us into the point that we got to. Because if, in all reality, if ESL 1 would have just taken the second early February, when he asked me for this invite, and I told him the three players, if he would have just taken 5 minutes due diligence to go look at our roster and then realize this doesn't agree with what we consider to be a 3 of 5 original roster, and then said, no, you cannot be invited with those three people, then we as a team would have just qualified. Like every other team, we would have just gone into qualifiers. So I want to know why he isn't so dedicated to his job, and is he okay with what he did to us? That's all I would want to know from him. Okay,
that's fair enough. I also wanted to ask, do you think Ubisoft should step in, both in regards to what happened with your team and with the 2-player banning that's happened and ESL was ignored? Do you think they need to step in a little bit?
It would be nice to see a bridge of a gap, sort of like a bridge formed between the two, or at least I'm sure there is, but at least like make it more visible to all of us, like that they had these conversations, and either that they agree or disagree with like what ESL ended up doing this season, just so it's more transparent, and like it's hard to build a fan base when the fan base is like negative towards like what's going on in the community. So as long as like, I just want there to be somebody there to protect like the good of things. Like it makes no sense to me why one side of this bridge is banning players, and the other side of the bridge is trying to help them across.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. What do you think the rule in the first place, the 3 players rule, was a good one?
So I'm not sure if this rule was actually a part of the original rule book,
Hmm.
and I think the rule was created after, because at that time Astral was going to be finishing in the top 4, and we were going to get an automatic invite. But I told Barth, because we were so disgusted with the Clever situation and what was happening with the whole scheduling near the end of the season, that we were just going to sell our team because we didn't want to be a part of a pro league that was treating us like this anymore. And I think that's when the rule was created. I'd have to go back to check for sure. I don't get the rule. The rule doesn't make any sense. Basically, what the rule wanted us to do this season was to play with players that weren't as good as the players that we had, if that makes any sense. Because we, from our season 3 roster, we invited people to our team, and we did even better in the close qualifiers than we did in season 3. So we improved as a team, but then they said, no, you have to play with the team that was worse. So all it does is hinder like the advancement of competition, in my eyes, the 3 of 5 rule.
Okay. Has anyone from ESL reached out to you since your post?
Yes. ESL 3 from my post reached out to me.
Okay. Not ESL as a whole though, or any. There's been
No.
no. Okay. Um. Has there been? Have you heard from any other player? You don't have to name names or anything, but have you heard from any other players that have had similar situations, or have you at least said, I'm sorry that happened to you, or anything similar?
Yeah, I would say at least one player from every team has reached out to me, sent a message or whatever, saying that they like apologized for my situation. They think it's kind of unreal what we went through, or just messaging me saying like they had no clue what we were going through. So there has been support from all levels, especially the community. I do want to take one brief second to thank everybody out there for giving us support. It's meant a lot.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely if one person from each team is quite a big thing. That's quite a good thing to hear from the community, that they're supportive, even in the competition, the pro league.
Yeah, I mean, everyone needs to remember, we spend a ton of time together because we're constantly scamming each other. Like, a lot of us are all friends, even though it looks like we're, like, pitted up against each other. But we have a good, like, camaraderie between all the players.
Good. Well, that's good to hear. Is there anything else you want to address?
Not at this time. I will say that I don't know when this video is coming out. By the weekend, I am going to be posting a retort to the message that Vets came out with today.
Mm-hmm.
So look forward to that on my Twitter.
Okay. I'm going to put all links to everything in the description. And I'll edit that into the description. I'm hoping to get this video up Saturday. So I'll edit that once you've released it. But yeah, thank you for being our first guest. And hopefully we'll have you back on to talk about more fun things than what's happened here.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, I look forward to speaking to you in the future. And good luck.
All right. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Cheers.